তোমার এই যক্ষপুরের কাজের চেয়ে অনেক অনেক সহজ। যেদিন তুমি আমাকে তোমার ভান্ডারে ঢুকতে দিয়েছিলে, তোমার এই সোনার চাল দেখে
এইবার উন্মুক্ত তীরের তরবারি।
কি হচ্ছে ক্যাপ্টেন বাবু? কি করছেন?
কি করছি দেখবেন? আমি জুয়েল লড়ব।
পিণ্ড পাথর, লোহা, সোনা, সেইখানে রয়েছে জোরের মূর্তি, আর ওপরের তলায় একটুখানি কাঁচা মাটিতে ঘাস উঠছে, ফুল ফুটছে, সেইখানে রয়েছে জাদুর খেলা। দুর্গমের থেকে আমি হিরে আনি, মানিক আনি, কিন্তু সহজের থেকে ওই প্রাণের জাদু
গ্রীসের একটি রাজ্য থেবাই। এই থেবাইয়ের রাজা লাইয়ুস দূর বিদেশ যাত্রাকালে নিহত হন। কিভাবে নিহত হন?
পুত্র মুখোশ আইলরে রত স্বর্ণচূড় বিধায় পুরিয়া পুরি সাজিছে রাবণ রাজা বীর মাদে মাদি
কারারই লৌহ কপাট ভেঙে ফেলে করে লোপাট, রক্ত জমাট শিকল পূজার পাষাণ বেদি।
Thank you, Shogut Sanskritik Kendra, for inviting me to share with you all my thoughts on my theatre and my philosophy. And I'm really grateful for her patience and for her ability to have coped with someone like me. So when we talk about theatre, my theatre and my philosophy, I think my philosophy as far as my theatre is concerned goes with the idea of always trying to say something that is relevant, say something that is I feel important and required at the moment for me to say, as well as probably for society to address. So there is this requirement for some social relevance, but a lot of the times I think I work a lot with understanding the human psyche and trying to work around what I really enjoy is, I think, with theatre is with telling a story, and I love telling stories which intertwine, or which are not just straightforward narrations of someone's life, but take us through journeys that can that sort of discuss or rather journeys that sort of help us find new aspects of ourselves within ourselves. And in doing so, I also try to experiment with the form of my work. So it's always an attempt to not repeat the form of one production and sort of do the same thing with another. So I do a lot of work which is very physical in nature. I have had some training in dance, and I really try my best to make the most of my understanding of space, body language, movement, expression, emotion that I got from dance, and to use that as a tool to further the narratives that I talk about. But that's not the only thing. I also so like I said, I try experimenting with form with each production. How successful I am, well, you can come and watch my productions and then tell me whether any of them are able to communicate the ideas or stories that I intend to share. But I think what they are able to do is, which is my other philosophy of theatre, that they are able to start a conversation. Earlier I've had responses where I feel the audiences would come up to me and say that, well, what you're doing is not theatre. Why do you call it theatre? You could just call it a dance performance. Or what you are doing is a multimedia performance. It's not even, why would you say this is theatre? And my question to them would be, why not? And from probably facing moments where a lot of my work hasn't been considered worthy of the title of theatre, to having come to a space where people are intrigued to at least have a conversation, I think that has been also a very important part of my philosophy for my theatre. And so that has largely governed everything that I have done so far. I'm going to not be able to continue like this. I'm going to refer back to Navamita's questions, and she wants to know what is the position of Indian theatre in terms of world theatre. I think it's very interesting to see how Indian theatre is received, the ideas that people have of India. Having had the opportunity to study abroad as well as work with some people abroad, and I feel that there is a very interesting concept that people have of what is Indian and what is not Indian, and somehow India also has that idea. And when we create some work, we look for an element of Indianness, which according to me is very complicated, because there is no one India and there is no one element of Indianness that work can have. And so with each of us, with the kind of lives we live and the influences we sort of have and the experiences we have, our understanding of India is different. And because I am an Indian and the kind of work I produce comes from my reality, I always hope that my work would be Indian. So one is definitely that there is this understanding that people have where there is an expectation, and when they see work which is pretty much at par with the kind of language, the performance language which a lot of the world uses, it makes for a lot of interesting discussions on the idea of Indianness, on the idea of Indian theatre, and also how transgressive all our boundaries have become. I had a conversation with a director once who had come to teach at the National School of Drama. I think she's from Germany, and she was telling me how she really enjoyed working with Indian actors because of the way they could use their bodies, the kind of freedom the body had and the kind of movement their bodies would produce. And that was something that she would look for when she would work with actors in the West. And here she was trying to sort of also train up actors to be able to do that. And here there were a whole lot of actors she was working with to whom it came very easy. So I think each person has a different experience. Another director that I worked with and I designed for her, Annie Ruth, she is from New Zealand. She loved the way people responded, again physically, yes, in terms of acting, but also the aesthetic of India, the colors of India, and how that could be very interestingly used when we created a dialogue with a Western form of or Western style of performance making. And that I think was very that I think is very interesting to observe, watch, and I don't know if I have been able to look at a qualitative position in that way, but I think what is important is the dialogue that we are able to have coming from our traditions, and also seeing how a lot of the world theatre works with evolving, incorporating the understanding, and how our theatre of the roots or our experiences of our ritualistic theatres or even our traditional forms can have that sort of a dialogue and hold a position which is pretty much making it possible for the world to re-look at all kinds of theatre that are Indian and not just expect one kind of Indian theatre. Well, another question is, who are my productions made for? I would like to think that my productions are made for anyone who is willing to engage emotionally with a piece of work where the story is not necessarily narrated in a conventional way, where the story sort of expects also the audiences to work with us by thinking, experiencing, understanding, questioning, not just life but even the work for that matter. And so as much as it is for everybody, I feel that sometimes it might become a challenge for people who go to the theatre only for a particular kind of entertainment. I would like to believe that my work is also entertaining, while it works at several other levels, which include an emotional engagement as well as an intellectual engagement. And thus I would like to believe that it is something created that I would want everyone to watch. But because I'm born and brought up in Delhi, and because of my background, I probably have a certain, or my influences as well, I probably have created work which has not gone all across, which sort of has maybe been limited to a certain section of people. But yes, I would love for it to be looked at, well, I hope, as good theatre, and something which is for everyone. Speaking of theatre practices in Bengal, I think Bengal has always pioneered the whole idea of theatre in every way, be it in the traditional section, be it in the postmodern section genre, be it in a way where theatre is Bengal has created theatre in every genre and has always tried to reach out to every kind of audience. So that, I think, makes the whole positioning of Bengali theatre on the map of Indian theatre very, very important and very, very relevant, and something which we all learn from, that how so many different kinds of theatre can actually coexist. I'm someone who believes in the fact that there should not be one kind of theatre that happens. We are all different people, and we all have different approaches, different understandings, different beliefs, different cultural backgrounds, different influences, and thus the kind of stories we want to tell should be different, and the audiences should have a huge variety to choose from, and probably be able to watch every kind of theatre. And so all of these forms must coexist. So and I feel Bengali theatre has always done that. We've had very many kinds of work that I have seen, and when it's traveled and I have interacted with, and it's something that I've always learned from and tried to appreciate, that even from the fact that it's one of the places where group theatre works in a very strong way, and that's again something a lot of us aren't able to successfully do, that is run groups and to very regularly produce theatre, and Bengal is able to do so. So I think the theatre in Bengal becomes pretty much a sort of a landmark and a space of learning for a whole lot of us in many ways. Another question is about the audience of drama and whether it's declining. Right now, given the situation, I think we've hit rock bottom thanks to Corona, with the theatres all closed down, and we don't know when we can go back and when another production can be created which can be performed live on stage. And so we are all trying to look for different mediums to keep our art going, but I don't know if and so, well, right now I think there is a requirement, and I wouldn't know what the condition with the audiences would be if ever and whenever we go back to the theatre. But for me, if you ask me, I feel that the audience for drama has grown a little bit because of the variety of theatre that is being produced all over. So it's not just about earlier, if we said theatre and we had one understanding of what it might be, now it's multiple ways of performing, multiple ways of creating work. And so different kinds of audiences probably are getting built for different kinds of theatre. Like, I feel that a lot of my work is in Hindi, and the audiences that come for those performances versus the audiences that have come for a couple of English pieces I've done, or movement-based theatre that I've created, have all been different. And so it's not just limited, it could be in some cases probably sectionalized a bit, but at the same time, you know, when you start doing different kinds of work, also probably in different languages. I've also made a play with Rangashankara, and it's been in Kannada, and so you sort of start creating audiences all over. So on a personal front, I think the audience has increased, but in terms of a general comment on the kind of audiences that theatre has, I think it sort of balances itself out in many ways. So it sort of stays at a mark where we do get audience. We get an audience which is very recognizable, because there is a certain audience for theatre. But I think a lot of young people are getting very interested, and that probably is helping with the numbers of people, helping with the numbers as far as audiences are concerned. What needs to be done to make theatre acceptable to general public? I think first and foremost, a lot of people believe that theatre becomes extremely cerebralized and intellectualized, and that is what takes the general public away. What I would like to revisit probably the definition for general public, and try and see whether, well, okay, let me rephrase this. I feel that everyone enjoys a good story, and if we are using our platform to narrate a story, and by story I don't mean the conventional way of telling us of what we understand by a story about someone or something or some incident. Theatre is all about all of that. But along with that, if we are able to give our audiences an experience, a journey, a connection, which does not come to them in a very literal manner, but even if they make that connection, they are always willing to work with you. So generally the general public, I think, would get engaged if you gave them something good to engage with. So my philosophy again is to talk in a language which probably they can associate with, but at the same time I try and make this communication both ways, where what I am saying and what I am sharing with them becomes equally exciting for both of us. So for me to perform, or for them to watch. So I guess what needs to be done to make it acceptable to the general public is to find a way, because we don't do theatre in isolation, and I think the whole idea is to connect with people. So we have to find a sort of a common ground where we can make the dialogue possible, and in order to do that, I don't mean simplification of anything, but at the same time finding a language which works both ways for us. I think that would make it way more exciting and would allow people to sort of connect with a lot more. Theatres in our country are largely dependent on grants. Is it so? How do you see this? I think a lot of it is. A lot of it is dependent on grants and the sort of patronage and support that we need, because it's also become very expensive. Hiring a theatre is very expensive, and it is a profession. So I think it is not right to expect people to work in a situation where we are sort of doing it only out of the goodness of our heart. It is something which should also, it is a profession, and so it should be dealt with in that way as well. And unfortunately, somewhere down the line, I think our philosophies towards what good theatre and where it comes from probably need to sort of be looked at, because when we think of how the fee structure works, or how salaries work, or how an income could be generated, because people are living off it, we need to start understanding that as much as there is an interest in generating social dialogue, as much as there is an interest in generating a platform for any sort of a intellectual, emotional, experiential exchange to happen, this is also something that generates livelihood for people. So and somehow I feel we are still very shy about it. We sort of associate a value system which I don't sort of agree with, where if we talk about our fee, or if we talk about what are our earnings from a project vis-a-vis the kind of time we are investing in it, there are labels that get attached to us, and thus it again takes us back to a situation where we have to think of grants, of course, to even be able to pay people to work, or we just look at people working out of the goodness of their heart. To a certain extent there has to be, but to a great extent I think we have to understand this also as an industry, and the revenue that comes from us doing ticketed shows and people going to the theatre, buying a ticket and watching a performance also helps theatre grow. So and that a lot of people still don't do. People love to go watch a play if you get a pass, but if you have to buy a ticket and go, then it sort of complicates matters a bit. So we have to rely on grants, and that again becomes sometimes an advantage and sometimes a disadvantage. An advantage because then you are able to produce what you want to and how you want to, because you're sort of seeking support from like-minded people. Sometimes you do not get support from like-minded people, so you might have to tweak your work around because you still want to and you do create work. But at the same time we sort of stay in the zone of not being able to survive just on the merit of ticket sales, and thus grants being the only way for theatre to survive. And that well is the truth. Whether good, bad, I don't know, but that is the situation. So yeah, theatres in our country and do depend on grants. At this time, many boys and girls want to build a career in theatre field, where the theatre field relies on grants. Okay. So I've had a very interesting life vis-a-vis the theatre. I came here totally by surprise, or I would say it was a turn of events where I initially wanted to become a doctor, and then things happened in life where I decided, well, I had two options. I either wanted to become a director or I wanted to become a doctor. So when I made this decision, I had a very strong family support, and I thank my parents, my father and my mother, who allowed me to live this dream, knowing that I might be getting into a profession which might not be the most financially viable. But at the same time, I think I have been very lucky that I've always got work consistently, and through that work I've also been able to survive. I have never really differentiated between what work I'm doing, especially in my early years when I'm still learning, like I would like to repeat that, but where I would design and I would be an assistant director, and I would be a stage manager, and every aspect of theatre I sort of worked for. And I realized that not only was that helping me continue work, but it was helping me learn so much more. And it's only later that I made the decision to sort of stay closer to directing theatre, and now becoming an educator. So going back to the question, if we want to take on theatre as a profession, we have to be open to doing a whole lot of things. I feel if that is where we see our earnings and livelihood coming from. It is limiting in that sense that the options are, and in today's world post corona, it's even less. So right now I would say it's a very tough career choice. You would really need to work very, very hard, and sort of we would all need to pray that the theaters open up again so that we can put out work on stage. But otherwise, I think it's possible. It's possible to choose, it's possible to have a career in this field. It's possible to also survive. It's very important that you are open to playing different roles on and off stage if required. And so most importantly, if you want to make this your career, you actually have to love every aspect of it. If you, and why I'm saying this is because once you realize that what you love is theatre, and you know what comes out as a final product, you will feel that anything you do for it gives you the same satisfaction that you would want to eventually specialize in. So yes, totally possible, even though there are grants, and grants are helpful because they help directors or producers further pay salaries to people. So I think it is doable, but yeah, today's world is very different from when we started working. So we'll have to sort of look at it and take it step at a time to see where we'll have to just wait and see what the next step for us can be. Very recently, I think, just to keep my spark, interest, work alive, I tried my hands at creating a performance which was online, and I worked with two actors from Bombay, Padma Damodaran and Akshay Dogra, and we created a show called 5 Years of Afternoons. And what we did for that piece was that so Padma was in Chembur, Akshay was in Malad, I think, in Mumbai, and I was in Delhi, and we would meet over Skype to rehearse. We devised a piece which sort of used Pinter's betrayal as the jumping off point, and we looked at how in our current times what would be the impacts of our current time on a romantic relationship between two people, which is also an extramarital affair. And in order to try that out, we worked while we used our cell phones, we used Instagram Live as our space for performance. But what we realized was that we were able to create a live show which people could watch online, and it gave us a little bit of hope that, well, till the theaters don't open, maybe this could be one way of continuing with our work. We had no finances attached to it because all three of us were experimenting, and we just wanted to see how it went, and it was on Instagram Live, so there were no tickets. But maybe we need to figure out newer ways, newer performance languages which keep all of this in mind, and also keep our challenges in mind, and are at the same time able to do what we have always done, that is narrate a story, share a message, start a conversation, have a dialogue, make a comment, help us, help society view ourselves through lenses that we sometimes just choose to ignore, and most importantly, ask questions. So yeah, I think if grants continue, it will become about inventing, discovering newer forms to work in. And so, well, I don't think we should give up hope, but we should sort of wait and watch what our next step could be, and sort of work towards it together. Over time, indigenous theatre practical art has taken place in our proscenium theatres, and various experiments are being done outside the proscenium. So will the theatre find another way in the future? Of course. I think what is really wonderful about contemporary theatre is that we are always not looking at a proscenium to perform in. We have amphitheaters, we have why just amphitheaters? I was going to say it's a form though. Promenade theatre, we can just create different spaces. I have individually sort of, if I look back at the journey that I have taken, I have performed at art galleries, I have performed at of course proscenium theatres, I have performed at outdoor spaces, I have worked in amphitheaters. Right now I have also created a piece which is online. So I think it's about figuring out where you feel your story fits best and to go ahead and experiment, and that's the fun of theatre. Because in any case, every show that you do is different from the one you've done even the day before. In the same space, you could have found something different. In the same story, you can find something different. We grow every minute, so that experience sort of comes and adds itself to to our work. And thus, the beauty of theatre is that every day we have a new show. And so, and we are all about experimenting. I mean, when we are working in a medium which is live, where we have thinking, feeling people, then why not also look at space differently? We have had theatre which is in the living room of people, so sometimes we feel that if you can't go to the theatre, we can bring it to you, and that can help us also keep this form alive in a way where in smaller gatherings, in smaller situations, in smaller spaces, we can still connect and communicate and share our experiences through this and make new ones. So I'm all in for experimenting. I'm all in for not just with space, but with form, with style, with creating more interdisciplinary work. I think there's theatre in everything. So whether there is, I do not like to make distinctions between. I don't think it's a pure form in any case. So there is no reason why we should have only one kind of theatre. So yeah, I feel it's very important to do that. And going back to how that works for me, I think that works like oxygen, because I am someone who can't work with patterns. I work inside a structure all the time. So even if I also teach theatre, so yes, I do a lot of work with a lot of structure, but within that structure I need to keep finding something new for myself every day. And I understand this because I work with a lot of young people now, that with the way life is, our attention spans are becoming really small. So how people would first have the patience to sit inside a theatre and watch something for 3 hours might not be the case now. And we also there is so much out there, and there is so much on offer that anything which sort of repeats itself, we might not be interested in that anymore. And as an individual, I am someone who's always trying to do something new. So if I want to do that, then I'm sure many more people are like me, who would want something new and something that sort of even if it's an old story, but it's told in a way that gives them a new experience. So in that case, why not experiment with form? Why not experiment with structure? Why not experiment with spaces? Why not experiment with performance styles? Why not mix things? How does it help to just, well, I'm sure for understanding of a style, yes, we must start with something to know how to further apply it in different spaces. But apart from that, I think experiments just give us so much a lot of space to have conversations and have a dialogue, and I think theatre is all about that. So, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Navamita and Sobudh Sanskriti Kendra to have invited me, and to thank all of you to have heard me so patiently. It's been a very interesting experience because it's also allowed me to think back and look at my own processes and reflect on what possibly I've done so far, or I am doing, or even helped me shape my intent with Theatre for Later, and to also keep a check on what my philosophy of theatre has been, and whether I am being able to understand the requirement of our times today and sort of go with it, and if required, so basically just to see where I am with my work. So thank you very much for listening. Take care, stay home, stay safe, and let's figure out a time soon where we can meet at the theatres again. Thank you.